Fort de Cloud.
Okay.
Okay.
Mysterious. Genevieve, maybe you're right. We should disable that thing before we start. Anyway, I'm going to turn it over to Meg, who's going to give us some announcements now.
Oh, technology. We all love it, don't we? Yes. Well, I would just want to also preface this by saying that prompt was a really good one because we learned so much and such lovely, really interesting experiences that you all shared with us. And so thank you very much for that. I love the prompt stuff. I don't really have much, by the way, of announcements, guys. Sorry, but does it? I rely on SAC, and I just didn't find very much today. But there is, of course, a genre storytelling coming up on August 19th. That's just a few days away at 7 o'clock. And they're all personal stories. And if you are a SAC member, you can just go ahead and get in there. If you're not, sign up for SAC because you can save yourself some dollars, and that would be a good thing. And if you are interested in telling at the genre storytelling, you may do that. There's a page on the SAC website that will tell you what's upcoming, so you can kind of choose what genre you want to tell. And then I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Vicky, but contacting you and so that you will sponsor them to the genre is the way to go. So I would encourage you not only to check genre out every month, but also to think about maybe doing a story yourself. So check like I say, check the SAC website. They've got a lot of good information always there.
Wonderful.
That's
Well,
about what I
thank
have.
you, Meg.
Good.
Sarah, do you want to add anything? I think you might be muted, Sarah.
Yes, I just got a message that I was. Sorry. Um, so unmute. Okay. I just put the SAC website in the chat, and that's correct what you said, Meg. Please come, and then if you want to tell, pick the genre that you're interested in, let Vicky know, and um, we get people from all this SAC groups throughout California sponsoring somebody. I think we have six, I forget if it's 6 or 7 slots each month. And then there's a guest teller from somewhere else that joins us as well. I also just want to tell you to put, if you haven't already, May 2nd on your calendar. That's the next Bay Area Storytelling Festival, which will take place in Orinda, California, once again.
Great.
Wonderful.
Thanks.
And if I could back up for a moment, thank you, Sarah. If I can back up for a second, I think I should. I think that Brandon earlier today talked about our memorial or our celebration of life for Katie, and that's the 29th on a Saturday. Please put that on your calendar and join us. I think it's going to be a wonderful time to celebrate her. I know there's some pictures of her when she was young,
Mhm.
and which was actually really good because it shows a little bit about where she lived and her horse. And so please put that down on your calendar now, and you will be getting an email uh, closer to the date that will have that Zoom
At 10
link to it. So
at 10 a.m. Pacific?
I'm
Yeah, I
sorry.
believe it's 10 a.m. Yeah.
Yeah,
Can
yeah.
I just add that we're late getting storyline out this summer. It'll be coming out within the next couple weeks. And there's the tribute to Katie that you guys shared before, and we have the little announcement about the memorial, which will be, just lovely. So thank you.
Oh, thank you,
Thank you.
Sarah, for doing that.
Mhm.
Oh, of
It
course.
means so much to all of us.
Well, yes, of course. Thank you.
And
And
Renew, I would say yes, we will most likely record it, don't you think, Brandon?
yeah, It seems like everything's being recorded whether we want to or not. And I will certainly, make sure something is happening, but I'd like to start it myself and not have it just be automatic. So we'll iron that out. It must be a new feature in Zoom.
The
Anyway,
AI is not video recording.
it's
That's
not video.
not video, no. At least I believe it's not. I think it's written.
Hmm. Well, we'll find out what we get. Gosh. Okay.
What you're
So
recording right now is regular Zoom recording.
yeah, that's being done by Vicky, I think. So it looks like whatever was happening, went for exactly an hour and a half and then stopped on its own. So
I'm hoping it's still recording. I believe it is.
yeah, it says this is being recorded to the cloud now.
And the first part was also with that little recording, which was the Zoom recording, not the AI stuff. We should be
Let's
okay.
hope so.
Again,
Very good. So, Genevieve, I think you are next on the Do Tell stage. Welcome to Genevieve. It's great to have you.
okay, thank you. It's okay, Vicky?
Whatever works, go for it, girl.
I had originally thought we could switch and start with Vicky and end with me, but
Totally cool.
do we have time? Can you do yours then, Vicky?
Oh, yeah, and actually Sarah put in that she has a short story. So after you will be Sarah, and then we'll maybe go off into the netherworld somewhere, but we'll see. So go ahead.
Oh, me. Okay, not Vicky. Okay. Some time ago, I created a story called The Color of Fortune. It reflected an experience that I had that taught me a lot about the fact that despite my Latin American heritage, I don't appear to be Mexican. And as a result, I do not experience what many of my compatriots experience. It is assumed that I am not, absolutely not, of Mexican heritage. I learned a lesson then, and it was a deep one, but at that time I had no way of expecting what we are going through now and what the people, especially people of color, are going through, both Americans, in the breaking down of DEI and so forth, but certainly immigrants, and we know this. Our recent news has told us about the removal of the protected status of thousands and thousands of Haitians. And we have seen things, for instance, that they have been brought in so that they can be fitted for an ankle monitor. When I was working in the courts, I was well familiar with ankle monitors. They primarily were given to people on probation, especially persons who had DUIs, and people who basically had to be checking in with probation. They would monitor that they were keeping their curfew and so forth. But they were seen fit to be safely out in public. Things have changed now. You don't have to be a criminal to wear an ankle monitor, or what I used to translate as the pulsera electrónica, an electronic bracelet. The ankle monitors are, in some places, still known as the pulsera electrónicas. I had been puzzled about what to do, what was my role to work for democracy, to work for fairness, justice. And I joined Indivisible. I'm the only person in my neighborhood with an Indivisible sign for miles around, it appears. But I also found through that the program for court accompaniment. And I trained to do this. I've recently started to do that. And this is how it looks. My first trip was early in the morning. I had to be at the park and ride in Kotari by 5:30. There I joined with my colleague who had picked up one of the people we were accompanying in Santa Rosa. Then we went to Petaluma and picked up another person. These were people that are going in for an ICE check-in. Most of the courts have been moved out of San Francisco into Concord, but my visits have been in San Francisco at 6:30 Sansom. You get there early if you can, so that you can beat the line, because it opens at 8, but they only take 40 people at a time, and the line can wrap around down Sansom and then around the corner. There you'll see people from all kinds of nationalities, of all ages and stripes, children, grown-ups, grandparents. I was glad that I could use my Spanish to occasionally help someone with little information that they might need. ICE check-ins are generally not a dangerous proposition at this time in these counties for the moment. But once they got called in, we have to stay outside, and the immigrants will generally be given another date to appear. You do not want them to be sent to the 6th floor. You really hope that however long it takes, you will see their faces come back out, and then you will be able to take a ride back home, where you can share some treats that you've brought with them and listen to a few stories if they feel like it, or often enough, just let them sleep. They've worked all week. They got early to come to this appointment, and they're going to have to go back and take up their daily life. So just sleep. Every once in a while, you might have an opportunity to take up a conversation, be it in line or in the car on the way over or the way back, being sensitive, of course, not to trigger them. One conversation I had disclosed that the two women that we were with had both been detained for a couple of months. One came over with her 1.5-year-old son. She was still breastfeeding him, but she was not allowed to breastfeed him in detention because it wasn't right. They are given the ubiquitous foil blankets, which are kind of like putting some Alcoa kitchen wrap over your shoulders. And they are in a single room and not able to go outside. Treated worse than our local people serving sentences here. Another ride that I had recently was with a family, the father, the mother, and their teenage daughter. We were a little bit concerned because unlike other times that I've been there, two men appeared with badges on lanyards, and they were calling people's names. None of the people's names that they called appeared to be there. But every time they came out, we wondered, why are they here? Why are they calling someone in particular? It turned out that the people we accompanied, that sweet family, didn't even have to go in. They were given a court date by someone who came outside later. Many people have taken on the role of showing up to support immigrants with coffee, with information, with granola bars, which are not necessarily the liking of some of the immigrants, but the love will be taken. Just to show that this is the America that we know and love, not the one that is threatening them so, causing them to live in fear. We were able, after our family accompaniment, to stop at a local coffee shop, and those owners were happy to let us come in, occupy a table, and bring our own treats in addition to the things that we bought from them. One of the most impressive experiences that I had so far was a young trans woman, very, very beautiful, very perfectly attired, groomed, and with hair and the nails, and absolutely beautiful. I realized that, curiously enough, people who are LGBTQ plus might have a better chance at getting some kind of protected status, precisely because they have what's called a creditable fear, should they go back. I enjoyed talking to her on the way over and the way back, but I have to confess, from time to time, I kept on slipping into him instead of her. I couldn't keep my pronouns straight and switch from Spanish to English that quickly. As we dropped her off on the way back with her new date, I said to her, I had asked her, tell me, "Oh, you chose your name." And she said, "I knew it from the moment I was 14. And I got such a liberation from that awareness. In fact, I have a middle name, which I also chose, and she shared both of them with me. And before she got out of the car, I said, "You have been so courageous. It must have been so hard for you in your country. And I'm so sorry that things are hard now here, where you had every expectation of being treated well." And she turned to me and she said, "Yes, it was very hard then in my country, but I'm still going to give my hope a chance in this one." And as she stepped out of the car, I saw that besides the beautiful blouse that she was wearing, her perfect makeup, her long nails, her jewelry, and her leggings, she was wearing on her left leg an ankle monitor. The only part of her outfit that didn't go well. I would just like to share something else that I learned. We use the term, as I said, ankle monitor, the electronic bracelet. But the term that is used in this setting is grillete. Grillete as in from a grill, let's say. Grillete. I had to look it up. I had no idea. Grillo means cricket, right? And we know completely different and not related language-wise. We have heard the word griot, Griot, as the teller of stories from the African American and African countries. Curiously enough, I thought I would look up the etymology of both. And griot, Griot, actually is believed to come from the Portuguese word for servant. And do you know what grillete means? Shackle. Thank you.
Oh my goodness. That was very powerful and artfully done too. I love how you brought back the anklet in the story and it not being part of the outfit or going with the outfit. What was her name?
Uh, I would rather not tell you because
Oh, okay. Sorry. I thought I might have just missed it.
no,
Okay.
no, I intentionally left it out.
Okay. Thanks.
But she
And
has two beautiful names, her first and her second name. And she
okay.
lit up when she told me about knowing what her name was going to be. Henceforth, the moment she had decided, this is what I'm going to be, and I'm going to fight for it.
Yeah.
Curiously enough, I asked her, um, I like to check my vocabulary from time to time. So in your country, how do you say LGBTQ? Because I thought, well,
Mm,
maybe there's different alphabet letters. And she says, LGBTQ más LGBTQ.
Math. The plus. I love that. It's a very important story to tell right now and forever. All right, I think we have time for one more story, and that is by Sarah.
To follow that beautiful story. Oh, Genevieve, and thank you for the work that you're doing. That's just so beautiful. Thank you. Thank you.
There's something all of us can do in our own ways.
Yeah, yeah. Tick, 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 tick. The young farmer was thinking about sitting on his father's lap when he was a child and leaning against his father's chest before bedtime when his father would read him stories and hear the tick, tick, tick of that special watch. Now, this young farmer had inherited the land and the hay business from his father, who had inherited it from his father. And that first grandfather had done so well with the land early on that after a couple of years, he bought a watch. And it was not this kind of watch. It was the beautiful round watch with a silver back, and it had engraved the name of the family and the year on that watch. And it was handed down father to son, father to son. And that young man kept it in a special pocket right on his overalls. And he wore it, he put it in there every day. He wore it all day long. He only took it out when he was ready for bed, and he'd put it on the night table. Well, this day he was going into the barn to check to make sure that the hay bales were ready to be picked up tomorrow to be distributed for food for the cattle in the area. And he counted the bales and he made sure they were straight and that there was access for the machines that would come in and pick them out. And as he walked into that barn, at first he patted his chest as he always did. And then he spent his time making sure everything was just right so that the next day everything would go really well. He sighed, nodded, started out of the barn and stepped over the threshold and patted that pocket, but it was empty. The watch was not there. He went back into the barn and he retraced his steps and looked on the ground and in the corners and in the hay bales. He looked everywhere and he couldn't find it. So he stepped out of the barn and sat down on a bench nearby to think of what he could possibly do. And he noticed there were a group of children playing in the field next door. Please, can you come and help me? Help me. And they all came over and he said, I've lost my watch, my pocket watch. Can you go into the barn and see if you can find it? Happily, they went in and they climbed on things and looked under things and looked around things and spent some time in there and then came out and said, sorry, we can't find it either. He thanked them and sent them back to play, and off they went, except one little boy came back and said, do you mind if I go in by myself and see if I can find it? Of course, please. So the farmer sat there trying to think about what to do, and the little boy went into that barn, and he wasn't gone very long. And he came out and he said, is this what you're looking for? And it was the watch. The farmer took it and put it in his pocket, and he said, How did you find it? And the little boy said, well, I went in and I sat down and I listened. And eventually I heard a tick, tick, tick. So I knew right where it was. Well, he ran off to play with the farmer's gratitude falling after him. It had been quite a day.
Oh, Sarah, that was wonderful.
Thank you.
And to reincorporate that sound, that comforting, and then, of course, total relief at the end. That's fantastic. Well, they're starting to shut the lights down here at the library, so I assume I'm going to have to leave pretty soon. We have had a lot of great stories tonight, ranging from fairy tales to very intense stories about immigration, history by Sharon. My goodness. And what an evening.
Maybe
And
next time, maybe I can share the poem, even though it's not.
yeah, we
Oh,
would,
yeah.
that would be nice. And you can remind us, for those who weren't here tonight, of that story too, Genevieve. That was absolutely beautiful. Well,
Zoom is
until,
Zoom is doing a lot of weird things, so I am going to try to stop because it's moving everybody around. I'm going to try to stop recording.
Isn't it
okay.
moving them as people go out, as people leave the
No,
meeting?
no, it wasn't this time. It was everybody was here. It was just
Sorry.
Mm.
okay. Stop cloud recording.